Good morning, scholars of room 502. Hope you are having a wonderful Wednesday and enjoyed your Cinco de Mayo yesterday. Maybe we had a taco or a burrito or listened to some mariachi music or norteña. Maybe you did that. Celebrated Mexican culture in America. I hope you did. Let's go on to our lesson here, and we're in our text for closed reading, page 13. And today our learning objective is to learn the meaning of words in a story and use clues to text in a text to figure out the meaning of words. And that's what we are going to be doing. So let's get started right away, shall we? So an author, I mean, you've probably heard the phrase, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, yeah, if you take a look at page 13, we can see this picture, and it's a pretty good description of what's going on in the story. Remember, he's a furry heap on the prow of the boat as they paddle through the lake. Look, there's that log maybe that they hit later on. Yes, I like that the pictures explain what's happening in the story. It helps me understand. Yes, pictures are a great way to understand. Mathematics, what's wrong with your face there, buddy? Ah, thank you, Mr. Leggett. Pictures are a great way to understand, help us understand a story. When we preview a story, it's always a good idea to look at the pictures. Yes, so you have a clear idea of what's going on. Yeah, but a lot of books don't have pictures or don't have too many pictures, so the author tries to create a picture using figurative language. Oh yes, I like these similes and metaphors. Yeah, and what's the big difference between a simile and a metaphor, Mathmut? I know math is your thing, but you know a lot about language arts. Yes, well, the simile uses words like and as. Yeah, exactly. A simile uses like and as to compare two different things. Exactly. Whereas a metaphor doesn't. A metaphor just comes out and states that something is something, and that's how they compare it. They don't use the words like or as, and that's the difference between really a simile and a metaphor. Very simple. Yes, yes. I understand thoroughly, especially after watching the Bazillions video about the superheroes, simile and metaphors. Yeah, that was a good video. I like that one. Thank you, Mathmut, for helping us out with understanding similes and metaphors. So we're going to be looking at a metaphor for starters, and it's in paragraph 10. And we already identified a key event here. It said, lad and the mistress are knocked out of the canoe when it overturns. And we talked a little bit about this, and look at the last sentence here. And after the manner of such eccentric craft, the canvas shell proceeded to turn turtle. So, remember we were talking about what does turn turtle mean? And Mr. Leggett had to look that up. But let's look up another word here, and I'm going to box it. Eccentric. And eccentric simply means odd, different. Maybe you know an eccentric person or have an eccentric relative. They do things differently. Maybe they dress differently or drive a wild car, or who knows. So we have this eccentric craft, the canoe. And it's saying it proceeded to turn turtle. So the craft in this instance, and I'm going to box that, is the boat, the canoe. So what we're comparing here is this eccentric, this odd boat, to a turtle. Now remember we talked about turning turtle means when a turtle flips upside down and he's on his back helpless. Well, a boat, it's kind of like they talk about its canvas shell underneath here. When it turned over, it was like this. It was helpless. The boat was helpless, like a turtle on its back. So we can see that this is a metaphor because we're not using like or as. We're just out and out stating that the craft, the eccentric craft, the canoe, proceeded to turn turtle. And we even use this word that reminds us of turtles, and I'll circle that, shell, and I'm going to point that to turn turtle. So we can see that this is a metaphor. It's not using the canoe turned over like a turtle. It's just saying that the eccentric craft, the canoe, turned turtle. All right? So let's just also go to paragraph 8. I think there's another metaphor in there. And let's examine paragraph 8. Let's read it and see if you can spot it. But to all except these two, and remember these two are referring to the master and mistress, he was calmly unapproachable. From his earliest days, he had never forgotten he was an aristocrat among inferiors, and calmly aloof, he moved among his subjects. Well, Mr. Leggett, we talked a little bit about that word aristocrat, but I'm going to use the dictionary on my phone, since I didn't bring my dictionary in here, to look up the word aristocrat, okay? Aristocrat. So an aristocrat is a member of the aristocracy, a nobleman, a noblewoman, a lord, a lady, somebody with high social ranking, okay? So that's what an aristocrat is, and who's being called an aristocrat? Let's read this again. But to all except these two, the master and the mistress, he, and I think we're talking about lad, was calmly unapproachable. From his earliest days, he had never forgotten he was an aristocrat, so a noble person among inferiors. And inferiors, of course, mean people who are below you. And calmly aloof, he moved among his subjects. So we can see here that lad is being compared to an aristocrat. He's not an aristocrat, he's a collie, he's a dog. But they're saying that lad is an aristocrat. Okay, we're not using like. It doesn't say from his earliest days he had never forgotten he was like an aristocrat. It just said he was an aristocrat. Among inferiors, and calmly aloof he moved among his subjects. Okay, who are these subjects that he's calmly moving about to everyone except the mistress and master? Well, they're just people and other animals are being compared to lad's subjects. Okay? So that's what's going on here. That's a metaphor. It's a direct comparison without using the word like or as. And if you have your text for close reading, we're going to go to paragraph 3. I hope you have this. Remember, if you don't have this, have your parents shoot me off a text or an email. So we're going to go to paragraph 3, and that's a big picture. And there's a metaphor somewhere in there. The denizens of every world must have at least one deity to worship. Lad had one, the master. Indeed, he had two, the master and the mistress. And because the dog was strong of soul and chivalric withal, and because the mistress was altogether lovable, Lad placed her altar even above the master's, which was holy as it should have been. There's a metaphor in there somewhere. I'm just going to help you out with the word deity. So circle that word deity, and I'm going to make a little arrow over here. And deity means a god, or someone you worship. Okay? A deity. Alright, so think about what metaphor is occurring there. Who's being compared to being a god? And I'm going to put up a little writing assignment. I know we haven't done a writing assignment in the language arts section today. So that's going to concentrate on paragraph 3. Okay? Thank you so much for being a wonderful class. I miss each and every one of you very much, and I look forward to the day when I get back to Hamilton TK8 and see each and every one of your smiling faces. Right, Math Mutt? That's all right, Mr. Leggett. We'll see you later. Check your science folder.